You're asking yourself, I've never seen a Prologue for a presentation before, and you're probably right. But I thought I needed to set a few things up first with some pretext before we dive in. I'm Patrick Kelly, a distinguished architect on our competitive strategy team here at Zoom. I've been at Zoom for over 4.5 years now, and before Zoom, I spent 12 years at a small software company you might have heard of called Microsoft. And that's why we're here today, to hear and learn more about the Zoom and Microsoft coexistence story, and how you as sellers and engineers can tell this entire story to your customers. This deck is available now in Seismic and has been legally approved for external use with your customers. No NDA required. You're welcome. Also, the entire presentation I'm about to give is 100% scripted. Every single word I'm about to say is in the notes section of each slide. You can literally read it word for word or use it as a framework for your own talk track. You're welcome again. And finally, I will present this entire pitch for you in the order of the slide deck. In total, it will probably be around 45 minutes. So in theory, you could present this entire deck in an hour meeting with 15 minutes of Q&A with your customers. But that's a lot, so I don't expect you to present this entire deck in one meeting. Please use this deck however works best for you and your situation. For example, if you want to talk about our TCO narrative versus Microsoft, just use those slides in the corresponding talk track. If you want to have an AI discussion about AI Companion versus Copilot, just use those slides. I think you get the point. Use this deck to fit your needs. Okay, ready to get started? Let's go. Zoom and Microsoft, two leaders in the UCaaS space with worldwide brand recognition. But let's dig into what they are a little bit more. Microsoft is an ecosystem, literally the largest IT ecosystem in the world. There are actually only 3 ecosystems: Apple, Google, and of course, Microsoft. Apple is geared mainly toward the consumer level. They have their own OS, they have their own hardware, they have their own email, they have their own communication software with FaceTime and Messenger. But these really aren't enterprise level solutions. They are geared toward you and I as individual users, not for the enterprise level. Next, we have Google. They are the next level and of course hit the consumer market, but they are also an enterprise solution provider. They sort of have their own hardware with phones and Chromebook, and they certainly have their own email system with Gmail, and of course they have their own productivity suite with Docs and Slides and Sheets, but you probably couldn't run an entire enterprise with just Google. You'll need a bunch of third-party software to complete the solution. You'll need an OS like Windows or iOS. You'll need a CRM. You'll need hardware like a PC or Mac. You'll basically need a bunch of different applications to run and have a full enterprise stack. Now we get to Microsoft, the $3 trillion monster in this space. They literally have everything from Active Directory to Xbox. They have hardware and they have an OS. They have email with Exchange and productivity with Office 365. They have file repositories with OneDrive and SharePoint. They have a CRM solution with Dynamics 365 and now a contact center solution. And of course, they have their own UCaaS solution with Teams. The point is, an entire enterprise could easily just use the entire Microsoft ecosystem for most of their entire IT infrastructure. And that's the main distinction between Zoom and Microsoft or Google or Apple. We aren't an ecosystem. We are an AI-first collaboration and communication platform that has to fit into an ecosystem. And we are agnostic of which ecosystem a user or company chooses. We fit into all of them. Zoom has an open and integrated platform, so we work with everyone. But if you're an enterprise level customer, you're probably in a Microsoft ecosystem, like 99.86% of the world. Actually, I completely made that stat up. I have no idea what the real percentage is, but I'm probably not far off. So what we're going to learn today is how does the Zoom platform fit into a Microsoft ecosystem? So let's dive into the agenda of what I hope we can accomplish today. There are 4 areas we're going to cover today, and these aren't going to be in any particular order. I sometimes go off tangents, so just know that at some point today, we will be reviewing all of these. I don't typically follow any agenda, so let's hope for the best here. First, I'm sure you have faced this a number of times from CIOs and CFOs and even procurement. Here's what they say. We are looking to minimize IT costs and optimize spend in our organization. You've heard that a million times in every single meeting with customers, probably. Well, We will explore how Zoom can meet those demands with a TCO narrative we've put together for you to have with customers when comparing the cost of Microsoft and Zoom. Next, we will cover our best-in-class modalities. These are features that Zoom can go toe-to-toe with any competitor and win hands down. No need for integration or coexistence. Zoom wins in every single one of these categories when it comes to phone, meetings, spaces, and events. And these are what we call our strong modalities. We will also showcase areas that are clear low-value areas in the Microsoft portfolio, and Zoom can fill these gaps with our current offerings that Microsoft is lacking in regards to features and functionality as well as cost. Finally, we will cover in-depth areas where it makes sense to actually use Microsoft features and then show the value of Zoom with our strong integration story as an open platform. The IT world has many examples of users and companies choosing a best-in-class scenario. For example, what's the very first thing you do when you get a new Mac or PC? You download Chrome for your browser. PCs have Edge and Macs have Safari, but you use Chrome because it's best in class. Microsoft has a solution for almost everything, but most of the time it isn't best in class. Think of Dynamics 365 as a CRM platform. Most companies choose Salesforce or Oracle or HubSpot. Entra ID has competitors like Okta and Ping. What about Microsoft Security and Compliance with Microsoft Purview? CrowdStrike is actually the industry leader here, minus a couple of hiccups a month ago or so. Even companies like Miro and Mural exist because Microsoft Whiteboard is just average and users need better. I think you get the point. Microsoft has the largest breadth of portfolio of any ecosystem, but typically you're left with an okay solution instead of a best-in-class solution. Users and companies demand and deserve more. That's how Zoom can offer best-in-class AI-first collaboration and communication platform that literally works in practically any ecosystem, including Apple, Google, or Microsoft. You all know that we have one of the most complete solutions of any UCaaS and CCaaS provider. What makes our solution even more powerful is that we can provide seamless integrations with many Microsoft products like Entra ID, SharePoint, OneDrive, Outlook, and Office that no one else even comes close to. Zoom can be your true best-in-class collaboration solution from one client and one administrative portal. But we also know that many of our customers already have Teams as their primary chat solution, but demand more. We can easily integrate our best-in-class solutions like Meetings, Phone, and Workvivo seamlessly into their Teams environment with both the Zoom app from the Teams app marketplace and the Zoom Phone Assistant. So yes, there are basically two paths here. Using Zoom holistically to solve every collaboration and communication need, or integrating Zoom into the Microsoft stack, utilizing our best-in-class solutions where it makes sense from a business workflow perspective. So let's dive a little deeper into strategies for replacement versus integration. So let's zoom in, no pun intended, on Microsoft Teams. This is probably the conversation you will have most often with customers, and a very powerful story from the Zoom perspective. Most likely, Teams is being used primarily for chat and probably internal meetings. And from a business value and usage perspective, Teams chat is really good. Probably its most powerful feature. So your main priority is to leverage our powerful integrations inside the Teams platform. Here's a quick recap of what we can offer today in regards to full Zoom and Teams integration from our best-in-class services. We have Zoom Meetings integrations with Teams, from an ad hoc to scheduled to complete Teams channel and group meeting integrations. We have Zoom Phone integrations with features like voicemail, call recordings, SMS, call queues, and speed dialing and presence, and look for a lot more innovation coming in this area. Zoom to Teams presence integration with real-time dynamic presence with phone and meetings. Zoom Whiteboard integration with our Zoom app into Teams. Zoom Phone Assistant with Teams. Workvivo and Teams integrations. An AI companion inside Microsoft Teams using Zoom Revenue Accelerator. Even chat integration with our partner Mio. The real goal and strategy is probably not to replace Teams if it has a stronghold in the account, but to land and expand our strong best-in-class workloads like phone, meetings, rooms, and Workvivo. Teams is no longer the darling that it once was in the Microsoft ecosystem. The torch has been passed, and it's called Copilot now. Teams is no longer a bundled application. It is on an island on its own now as an add-on. New customers have to actually pay for Teams separately now for chat. So to wring out even more profits from Teams, Microsoft continues to go the additional add-on route. You want a phone system? That's an add-on. You want a conferencing room? That's an add-on. You want a workspace reservation system and a visitor management system? That's an add-on. Do you want AI? Again, another add-on. I think you see where this is going. To match the best-in-class collaboration and communication features and AI features of Zoom, it's going to cost companies, and not by a little, by a lot. Teams Premium is the first iteration of Microsoft adding revenue features to Teams at $10 per user per month. Its main goal is to produce revenue for Microsoft above and beyond the basic feature set companies now have to pay for at an entry-level point for Teams. Things like additional security, ECDN, meeting and webinar branding. It does dip its toe into AI with features like live translation, meeting summary, and smart recordings, but AI is not the primary purpose of Teams Premium today. That's Copilot. To actually get true UCaaS AI features, companies need to step up to Copilot at $30 per user per month in addition to Teams Premium. So let's actually walk through that real quick. A company that uses Microsoft has to first pay for an enterprise license, whether it be a Microsoft E3 or E5, which last I checked were $33.75 and $54.75 respectively in price. Then they have to buy Teams at $5.25 per user per month. Then they have to buy Teams Premium at $10 per user per month. Then they have to buy Copilot at $30 per user per month. So if I could use a calculator correctly, that is $100 per user per month for Microsoft E5 with AI. And don't forget, they haven't even got to a level of AI features that even compares to what Zoom offers in the UCaaS as well as CCaaS space. I'm going to show you that next. So let's take a look at Zoom's AI offerings in the UCaaS space when compared to Microsoft. As I'm sure you are aware, AI is all the rage in the industry right now, with almost every tech company coming out with their own versions of AI, like WebEx and Google and RingCentral. Even consumer models like Meta and Apple have offerings. But today, we will concentrate on the two big horses in this space, Zoom and Microsoft. First and foremost, just look at our licensing tier compared to Microsoft. As you know, AI Companion is included with our workplace offering with all paid services. Zoom's goal is to democratize AI, allowing users at all levels to be able to take advantage. Microsoft is using AI as a revenue-generating model, clearly with Teams Premium at $10 per user per month and Copilot at $30, as we discussed in the last slide. So many times leadership wants to know the ROI on AI. By Zoom including AI Companion inside their platform offering, the ROI is literally immediate. We aren't waiting 6 to 12 months like our competitors for returns. We are providing those on day zero for immediate impact to a customer's bottom line. The real discussion happens at the feature level. Zoom's strategy here is AI first, meaning how can we leverage and utilize AI into our entire platform in order to increase user productivity and efficiency. And almost every new feature we innovate will incorporate an AI-first mentality during development. And as we innovate at Zoom speed, look for this list to expand exponentially further. So now we can triple down on some of our agenda items here. One, we can show a clear financial advantage when compared to Microsoft AI. We can identify AI Companion as a definite best-in-class solution with our features-rich offering. And finally, 3, we can fill very apparent gaps in the AI solutions versus our major competitors with a clear cost and modality advantage. And we can do this all while offering not only a cost benefit when compared to Microsoft, but also showcasing a business value narrative. Now, how do you decide when to compete with Microsoft versus when to showcase those Zoom integration narratives? Let's hit that next. So I saw something similar to this in a Gartner report. Most companies buying E5 typically do so for one reason: security and compliance. That's it. But in order to actually get the full value from an E5, you would need to apply not only every security and compliance feature to every user, but also Power BI and fully deployed Teams phone system to get the full value of that investment. This is rarely ever done, like 10% of the time. So companies typically can never see the full value of an E5. It's easy to see how some companies might feel compelled to force their users to utilize Microsoft technology where it doesn't make sense, just because they believe they have to use inferior Microsoft products that they already paid for, even when there are already best-in-class solutions like Zoom that can better meet their business value and user needs. In scenarios like this, forcing employees to use Microsoft 365 in the name of value actually has the opposite effect. Users and departments are then empowered to fix things on their own with shadow IT solutions. This is especially true with collaboration work and visual communication services. This then leads to much greater governance, compliance, and security concerns that can have a much greater cost impact than if they had just purchased a best-in-class solution like Zoom in the first place. Most companies I talk to are already using a best-of-class collaboration work management and visual collaboration service in parallel with Microsoft 365. So our goal should be to push our customers to consider Zoom as an alternative to Microsoft where it makes sense, to drive products that are more aligned with specific business requirements that will deliver more overall value at a reduced cost. Usage of modalities like Viva Engage, Whiteboard, and Teams Phone have very low usage and very low value for employees. We can go directly at Microsoft to completely replace these things with our competing Zoom products to drive user adoption, better workflow solutions, and greater IT investments. Now, as we go up and to the right of usage and value, these are items that employees and companies do utilize to a greater extent. These are things like email, chat, and productivity. Here is where our first move shouldn't be to replace these, but to actually integrate with the Microsoft platform. If they use Teams for chat, that's a very difficult feature to leverage out. It's not impossible, but it's really hard. Same with Exchange and Outlook. So instead of a replacement strategy, our most likely approach would be to seamlessly integrate Zoom Phone, Zoom Meetings, Zoom Mail into Teams and Outlook. To integrate Office 365 into Zoom, we can leverage our OneDrive and SharePoint apps and our in-meeting Office collaboration features that are already out right now. Obviously, discovery is a very important part of the sales process to fully understand how a customer utilizes Microsoft today, and then how best can we strategically insert Zoom where it makes sense to harness the power of this best-in-class replacement or integration. Now, let's jump into a cost comparison when customers want a best-in-class collaboration and communication platform with an AI-first vision. Slide 11. This is the mic drop slide that should get everyone's attention. Here, we are comparing actual day zero licensing cost of Zoom Workplace versus Microsoft 365. Just a quick TCO lesson. Cost of any application are broken down into three distinct parts. Day zero, the cost of the license. Day one, the cost of implementing the solution. And day two, the cost of administration and operation of that solution. Let's address just the day zero cost with this slide. We will tackle day one and day two in the next slide. So this is a baseline example of a 5,000 user organization with 50% of the users getting a phone. There's 100 common area of phones around the office or headquarters and 200 conferencing rooms equipped with a room system. As everyone in the meeting is aware, we include everything in our Zoom Workplace license. All the major sections are labeled AI, chat, meetings, phone, spaces, and events. So all in, we are at $350 per user per year. Let's jump to the Microsoft side. Here, we are actually going to include the cost of the company's E3 license because this is a must-have. They don't have a choice. It is part of doing business as a Microsoft customer, so you don't even count this as a price. So you can now clearly see in order to even attempt to match our solution, they would have to start buying additional add-ons. Of course, we've already talked about having to add Teams, Teams Premium, and Copilot, but look at everything else. Things like phone, calling plans, shared devices, and rooms. All are additional add-ons that have to be purchased in addition to the E3. And a lot of features Microsoft doesn't even offer, things like SMS or CVI and events. A Microsoft solution would need to include 3 or more additional vendors to even match what we offer natively. This, of course, adds even more additional day zero licensing costs, plus additional implementation costs and operational costs. And by the way, we are talking about E3 here, but the same things apply to E5. The only difference is that E5 includes the Teams phone license, but even then, companies still need a calling plan. So even with E5, these numbers are almost identical. Again, this is day zero. Let's quickly talk about the cost of day one and day two when competing against Microsoft. We just reviewed day zero costs versus Microsoft. The bulk of costs don't actually come from purchasing licenses, it's implementation and operations. Those are the day one and day two costs that are actually the most expensive part of the solution for every company. So you can see from a recent Methodology study that when compared to Microsoft, Zoom costs 34% less to implement for those day one costs. That's already a huge difference. I'm not talking about just the app. That's easy. I'm talking about the complex stuff like phones and rooms and contact center. Those are hard. But our goal here at Zoom is to make this part far easier. One of the main priorities is simplicity. Simplicity from not only the client level, but also the administrative side. What this, of course, means is less time deploying complicated solutions, which then means happier customers. Now, the real bulk of costs are always day two. This is the operational, administrative, training, and adoption cost. Day zero is kind of a one-time cost, right? A customer signs an EA for 3 or 5 or 10 years and you're done. You deploy and implement the solution, you're kind of done. That's a one-time cost as well. But day two costs are always going on. Daily, weekly, monthly, yearly costs that never go away. And here is where customers can save a lot of money with the Zoom solution. Even things like support and help desk cost. In fact, a recent study showed that Zoom reduces help desk cost in the UCaaS space by up to 75%. Again, simplicity is one of our main core pillars. Simplicity from adoption and training, simplicity from a deployment perspective, and simplicity from an operational perspective. Hopefully, this TCO resonates with not only you, but your customers, and now you can feel comfortable having a cost conversation when competing against Microsoft on just price. Next, let's tackle how Zoom can actually integrate important user workflows inside of Microsoft. Slide 13. Obviously, this is the Zoom Workplace slide. These are the fundamental features that come with Zoom Workplace bundle. Based on what we've learned, we built a new reframed AI-powered collaboration platform built for modern work. With our UCaaS solutions as a strong base, we've expanded our platform so that it also encompasses productivity and employee engagement. So basically, on the left side is all the user stuff, things that are paramount to collaboration and communication from a user perspective. On the right side is business services. These are mainly external-facing modalities like webinars, events, contact center, and even our revenue accelerator feature. These are geared towards different workflows than a normal worker. These are aligned to workflows like marketing, sales, and contact center agents. Zoom's mission is delivering limitless human connection. To do that will help you as customers drive impact with AI Companion so you can unlock the game-changing power of generative AI. We've built a platform for strengthening customer relationships with our business services solution, and we're enabling seamless experiences on an open platform, giving you the choice you need. Today, we are staying at the bottom. How does our developer ecosystem allow us to enable Zoom integrations with third-party vendors like Microsoft? How can Zoom extend beyond collaboration and communication? Our goal is to allow users to work within one framework. Zoom certainly is a powerful tool, but there are a lot of third-party applications that are needed by knowledge workers and information workers, such as file repositories or CRMs or service desk type applications. The great thing about the Zoom developer ecosystem is that we can typically bring those applications into the Zoom client with our seamless integrations. Imagine being inside the Zoom client and easily being able to share documents directly from OneDrive and SharePoint. Even solutions like Box and Google Drive can be used inside the Zoom client without having to switch applications. So our goal here on the product team is to bring the Zoom experience into the Microsoft ecosystem seamlessly, and the reverse is true as well. How can we bring Microsoft products into the Zoom platform to create an environment where users can work better, more effectively, more efficiently, and smarter? That's where Zoom Workplace comes in, to empower you to reimagine how you and your teams connect and collaborate using a combination of Microsoft and Zoom seamlessly integrated into various user workflows. Zoom Workplace is designed for this next phase of work by taking traditional means of communicating and collaborating and elevating that with generative AI, included at no extra cost, along with new ways to connect and share information within a Microsoft ecosystem. It combines collaboration, employee engagement, spaces, and productivity into one AI-powered collaboration platform so you can streamline communications, increase employee engagement, optimize in-person time, and improve productivity. So let's look at some of these workflow examples of how we are accomplishing this with Microsoft. Obviously, if your customers are Microsoft enterprises, they might already be leveraging Teams for chat and maybe internal meetings. But we can now blend the best in-class features of Zoom into Teams with our Zoom app and our Zoom phone assistant, bringing even further business value. And with our integration with Microsoft Exchange and Outlook, we can bring email and calendaring directly into the Zoom client from Microsoft. Users can now stay in their Zoom client and read email, reply to email, forward email, and check their Outlook calendar all from one client instead of switching back and forth between Zoom and Outlook, cutting down on that dreaded toggle tax. We can even take advantage of AI Companion with Email Compose, now integrated with Microsoft Exchange emails. Let's follow a fictional work employee. Let's call her Holly. While Holly's company uses Microsoft 365 for email, she doesn't have a Copilot license for her role, and she prefers to use the Zoom Workplace email client and utilize Zoom AI Companion Smart Compose to help her write emails to all her meeting participants. She uses Zoom Phone to communicate externally with vendors, and it's common for her to make direct calls with them, while at the same time, she chats with her internal coworkers and project team members directly in Teams. She can easily place a Zoom phone call directly from the Teams client. She can even use Zoom SMS, check her voicemails and call recordings using Zoom Phone within Microsoft Teams. While Holly is in Teams, she can easily create new Zoom meetings as well as join them. And since her Zoom calendar is synchronized with her Outlook calendar and Teams calendar, her meetings are up to date regardless of what application she is in, allowing her to be able to create and join either Teams or Zoom meetings from a single client. Holly can also utilize Zoom Rooms for meetings in conferences or huddle rooms. She can easily schedule Zoom or Teams meetings using Zoom Rooms, then seamlessly join those native meeting experiences with a single click. She can even join Google or WebEx meetings from the same Zoom room as well. Holly prefers to use Zoom for all her external meetings. At the same time, she needs to collaborate with partners on important documents like Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoint presentations. She can easily share Office 365 documents inside of a Zoom meeting. But the great thing about Zoom is all the users in the meeting can also collaborate with her quickly, co-editing this same document for more effective and productive meetings. No more sending files back and forth, just join a Zoom meeting and everyone can co-author at the same time on all Microsoft documents. After the meeting summaries are generated and shared via email and chat with all attendees. Even action items and tasks are created automatically with AI Companion Meeting Summary, so participants are on the same page for more effective workflows for everyone. Now let's see how we can improve productivity. Obviously, everyone wants to improve productivity. But how do we accomplish that within the Zoom platform in a Microsoft ecosystem? Imagine using Zoom Team Chat to create Office 365 documents from scratch. What about sharing Office 365 documents directly from Zoom? Think about this. What if we could literally store all Microsoft documents created from Zoom in SharePoint and OneDrive seamlessly? We can even use Zoom to access and edit customer records directly from Dynamics 365. There are two main players in the productivity space, and those are Google and Microsoft, and we can work seamlessly with both of them. But today, we are focusing on Microsoft, so let's take a look at a workflow that an everyday user would have in their daily tasks. So how does Zoom integrated with Microsoft actually improve productivity? Let's follow a simple workflow. One of the most powerful features to me with AI Companion is whiteboard creation. The hardest part for me is creating a whiteboard from a blank canvas. Say you wanted to create a whiteboard with the top 10 presentation ideas for a sales meeting. Think how long that would take you to create manually. Probably a good 15 to 20 minutes of creative drawing time. But what if I could create that same whiteboard with AI Companion? A task that took me 15 to 20 minutes can now be created in seconds with whiteboard creation from AI Companion. Then I can share that same whiteboard with Microsoft Teams users right from the Zoom client, and then Teams users could open up the exact same whiteboard from Zoom right from Microsoft Teams, allowing all users, regardless of application, to brainstorm and co-author on the same whiteboard dynamically or actually asynchronously. Let's take it a step further. What if we could create a central document to be one source of truth for a project or a meeting? Imagine using our new Zoom Docs feature for all reoccurring meeting notes, agendas, screenshots. What if I can bring in Office 365 documents that were shared in a meeting right into the Zoom doc? so everyone can easily view and access all assets from ongoing projects and meetings from one place. Now it's time to schedule a meeting. It doesn't matter which app a user is in, Microsoft or Zoom. Zoom meetings can obviously be created right from Zoom, but what if I could create Zoom meetings right from Microsoft Teams? What about Outlook? Even Outlook Web Access? All these integrations exist today. Now imagine the power of having that same Zoom doc as part of a new or reoccurring meeting. When you schedule that next meeting, attach the Zoom doc right to it. No longer do users have to go hunt down where all these pertinent meeting docs and notes and agendas, even whiteboards are at. All of them are built right into the meeting. Whether it's Zoom assets or Microsoft ones, everyone can easily find the relevant data quickly. Now you're in the meeting and you want to share and edit Microsoft documents right from Zoom. Imagine being able to easily share a document and giving all meeting participants editing access to the same document to co-author and brainstorm ideas and get those creative juices flowing. With in-meeting collaboration, meeting hosts can easily share a Microsoft document right from the Zoom client during the meeting directly with either OneDrive or SharePoint. So think about that. What if I'm an accountant and I want to share a Microsoft Excel document? I can easily just share my screen and everyone can see and comment on the document during the meeting, but what if we wanted to elevate that workflow? What if we can automatically assign editing rights for that document when we shared it? And literally everyone in the meeting could immediately not only see the document, but edit it during the meeting. Some pretty incredible stuff is happening in this space with our Microsoft integration, and look for a lot more of these workflows to start popping up as Zoom innovates in this space. This is a simple workflow showcasing how we can improve productivity of knowledge workers, but what about increasing actual employee engagement? Let's talk about that next. Workvivo is designed to create a more connected and inclusive work culture, empowering employees to build more meaningful relationships, feel a sense of belonging, and connect over shared interest. Workvivo can build communities with social feeds and shared collaboration spaces to make it easy to stay connected, share information, and work more closely together. We can even create peer recognition to celebrate team and individual achievements through public shout-outs and awards. Imagine increasing retention by growing a thriving community. Make your clients' companies easy to join and hard to leave. Now think about doing this all seamlessly inside of a Zoom platform and a Microsoft ecosystem, or both. Workvivo competes directly with Microsoft Viva Engage and can completely displace this with a greater feature set, easier deployment and administration, and a greater sense of belonging for users. Let's walk through an example workflow of Workvivo in action in a Microsoft ecosystem. Imagine having one app in every employee's pocket, a natural go-to place for everything work-related. That's Workvivo. Workvivo seamlessly extends the Microsoft Productivity Suite, creating a unified workspace where communication, collaboration, and engagement all come together. Benefit from seamless connectivity between your employee engagement platform and productivity tools. Streamline workflows and improve efficiency, and a clear center of gravity for employees where work happens and work comes to life. Experience seamless communication by initiating team chats directly from Workvivo profiles. Then effortlessly switch back to Teams using the conveniently placed Workvivo app in the Teams app bar. Watch employee engagement skyrocket as your team fluidly transitions between focused one-on-one conversations in Microsoft Teams and company-wide updates in Workvivo. This dynamic interplay creates a cohesive digital workplace experience that keeps everyone connected and informed. Host engaging Teams-hosted live streams directly on Workvivo for live events that have a familiar experience for your employees. And then extend the reach of your internal communications by effortlessly posting your Workvivo updates directly to Microsoft Teams at the touch of a button. This cross-platform sharing ensures that your message reaches your employees where they are, thereby increasing visibility and engagement regardless of the Zoom app or the Teams app. Enable users to seamlessly browse and download content from OneDrive or SharePoint, access their Outlook email, and view their calendar all from Workvivo. This streamlined approach eliminates the need to switch between multiple applications, thereby saving users time and enhancing productivity. The SharePoint integration further elevates collaboration by allowing users to search for content from their SharePoint folders using Workvivo's advanced search capabilities. This powerful feature facilitates quick and efficient retrieval of documents, presentations, and other files stored across various SharePoint sites. By choosing Workvivo as your central employee app, you're not only adding another tool, you're creating a digital workplace that brings together the best of your Microsoft investment, enhancing productivity, engagement, and overall employee experience with a Zoom application. The goal of Zoom in a hybrid work environment is to make users' commute to the office worth it, to have users be just as productive in the office as they are at home. Many times, the main reasons you're going into the office is to not only collaborate and brainstorm with colleagues in person, but to attend meetings in huddle spaces and conferencing rooms. Whether it's internal Teams meetings or external Zoom meetings, Zoom Rooms allows seamless integrations with Microsoft Teams. Users can easily use Outlook, Teams, or Zoom to book Zoom Rooms for meetings. Whether it's internal Teams meetings or external Zoom meetings, Zoom Rooms allows seamless integration with Microsoft Teams. Users can easily use Outlook, Teams, or Zoom to book Zoom Rooms for meetings. Productive workflow calendar integration with Microsoft Exchange and Outlook allows users to easily book and join Zoom or Teams meetings either from their laptops or from the conferencing room. We can even extend Zoom into workspaces. Use Outlook to reserve a desk before you arrive at the office. Use Teams Mobile to check in at the reception desk, all using the power of Zoom Workspaces. Let's take a look at an example workflow of Zoom Spaces integration with Microsoft. So let's be a user named Tommy for this example. Tommy uses Outlook for email and is able to leverage the new Zoom Workspace reservation Outlook add-in to reserve a desk before he goes into the office for some important meetings that he has. And with the help of Zoom Neighborhoods, he's able to find a desk nearest to his teammates. He's able to take a look at the pictures of the available desk and even what kind of hardware they have in it, like multiple monitors or physical phones, or these desks physically are on the map at the office. As Tommy spends most of his time inside of Teams, he receives a notification of his upcoming Zoom Workspace reservation with a prompt to check in on the Zoom app in Teams when he arrives at the office. He can also reserve a conferencing room by using the Zoom Workspace reservation Outlook add-in. He can easily find a room by filtering rooms available based on location, floor, room capacity, and assets, and reserve the room right from within Outlook. He can also add a Zoom or Teams meeting to his meeting invite with the Outlook calendar and invite attendees prior to sending out the invite. The reserved conferencing room is able to display instructions for joining the scheduled meeting by leveraging the native digital signage capability of Zoom Rooms. Following the display instructions, Tommy is able to locate the Join button on the touch controller and join the scheduled meeting from within a Zoom room with one click. All these features are a blend of Zoom and Microsoft working together with Zoom Rooms and Spaces. So that's it. The team here at Zoom is here to help you with these challenges, to empower you to reimagine how you and your teams connect and collaborate. We can help you bring your employee experience and customer experience together in an intelligent, all-in-one platform that people love to use. We do that by assisting you in 4 ways: driving impact with intelligence, leveraging the power of AI to drive increased productivity, better teamwork, and enhanced skills, making teamwork more meaningful in today's era of hybrid work, strengthening customer relationships across marketing, sales, and customer service, enabling seamless workflows with key third-party apps and integrations that are important to your organization. So I hope this was helpful for you in showcasing our vast integrations with Microsoft. And as we continue to innovate at Zoom, I would be on the lookout for a lot more innovative ways we are integrating with Microsoft. Okay, the presentation's officially over. You can take a breath. Like I said, that was a lot. It's a long presentation, but it contains an extreme amount of valuable stuff that you can utilize with your next customer meeting when you're having this Microsoft and Zoom integration story. And if you have any questions, please reach out to the Compete team or myself directly. Happy to help in any way I can. And from all of us here on the Compete team, have a great day.